Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Hell in a Cell review for tonight, October 25th, 2015, taking place from the Staples Center in Los Angeles. With the WWE having a creative downturn right now, and Walls not being as good, Hell in a Cell had an okay build up heading towards this pay per view, especially feeding up the main event. Hell in a Cell, my the entire pay per view, it was okay. It was entertaining. There were some decent moments. And of course, as I mentioned a couple weeks ago, when you have two stipulation matches in the same night, one was going to be better than the other. And one did outshine the other. One that was mostly, I called it Spot Fest City. Not much physicality, just relied too much on spots. And I like spots, but I thought one Hell in a Cell match had too many spots, way overdone. Well, one had spots as well, but wasn't as overdone. But for the second year in a row, Hell in a Cell, one guy affected the ending of the entire pay-per-view and left us with like very odd ending, kind of like last year's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And besides that, we had a big return tonight. And let's kick off with that, because I missed the pre-show. I was at a gig, so I wasn't able to make the pre-show. By the way, 6.5 for the pay-per-view, my rating, because the main event, I might almost said pay-per-view. The Divas match, to me, best main roster Divas match in a while. But still got a very long way to go. Booking-wise, writing-wise with the Divas division. The main roster. So, since I missed the pre-show, let's head on to the main show. John Cena's open challenge was first. First up on the pay-per-view. So, there was a lot of speculations on who was going to face Cena for the U.S. title. Of course, the biggest rumor was Tyler Breeze making his debut tonight. But he recently just debuted on SmackDown with Summer Rae. God, I'm talking about people floundering on the main roster. People from NXT not making a great transition from NXT to main roster. Hope Tyler Breeze doesn't end up another statistic. Now he's stuck with that Summer Rae bitch. So, okay. So it ain't Tyler Breeze that's going to get the opportunity to take Cena on for the U.S. Open Challenge. Especially if Cena expected to take a break. So who would in fact take the challenge? Well, here comes Zeb Coulter, who we haven't seen in almost a year. Over a year, should I say. After he was taken out by Rusev. And I thought, okay, Jack Swagger's going to be back. We haven't seen his ass. In about, you can get a big wub on Cena to revitalize his career. But then he said, Alberto Del Rio. Yes, after a year away from WWE, after a backstage confrontation got him fired, he went on to Mexico and other indie organizations. ADR returned to WWE tonight. There was speculation, I did read this over the week, that he was rumored to return to WWE. I didn't read the whole headline. I just saw the title of headlines. I didn't read all articles. But heard through the grapevine about Del Rio's return. I didn't expect him to return tonight against Cena at all. And it was a nice little surprise to see him back in WWE. You know, he's a former world champion, Royal Rumble guy, Money Bank winner. I didn't really like him in the beginning, and he got better, and I think he looked better tonight. Not just wrestling-wise, but did he? Was it just me, or did he gain like 30 pounds, 20 pounds of muscle? You know, gained a lot of muscle in him. He looked phenomenal. The match itself was just okay. It was a Del Rio beatdown on Cena with big nasty kicks, the backstabber, even taunting during the C for the cross-arm breaker, which we didn't get to see. But we did see Cena's 5 moves of doom. Well, the majority of it. The Final Knuckle Shuffle, a few attempts. We had the big insecurities from Del Rio following the Final Knuckle Shuffle. The backstabber gave it a big insecurity kick to Cena. Big kick to the face. 1, 2, 3. Alberto Del Rio returns to WWE and beats John Cena and becomes the new United States champion. Now, kind of predictable because we knew that no matter who was going to face Cena, it was a big possibility that that person would be Cena tonight, because as we all know, Cena is slated to go on break to film a reality show on Fox. So I was like, he's not going to be taking the title tonight. And as much as I like Del Rio returning and getting a big spot to beat Cena and aligning himself with Zeb Coulter, who at one point these two were enemies back in WrestleMania 29 when Zeb Coulter was with Jack Swagger talking about legal immigrants. When he said in his promo before he brought out Del Rio that it's time for people to come together. So Del Rio and Zeb Coulter put their differences aside. So as much as I like Del Rio returning and getting a big blood ball favor, Cena losing, and clean by the way, I still think it should have been Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze would have benefited more from beating Cena than Del Rio did. That's just my opinion. Instead of sticking him in a bad scenario with Summer Rae, they gave it an opportunity that could have been and should have been Breeze's to Del Rio, who almost deserves it as well, but Tyler Breeze needed a good debut. Not stuck with Summer Rae. This is my maybe not, and like I said just a few seconds ago, hopefully Tyler does not become another statistic of a failed transition from NXT to main roster. 2.5, decent opener. Kind of predictable because we all knew that there was no way Cena was going to be taking the title tonight because of the break. Still nice to see Del Rio there. So there you go. Now on to our next match, the first Hell in a Cell match. Like I knew it was going to be first Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, but I didn't think it was going to be this early in the card. My opinion on this Hell in a Cell match. When I said earlier that there was two Hell in a Cell matches, and whenever there's two stipulation matches in the same pay-per-view, one's better than the other. Well, this one was not the better one. I'll say this. It was good. There was a good action, but here's the thing. Not a lot of it. I said it also at the beginning that this was the one that relied too much on spots. That's what it felt like to me. That I like spots. I like big spots with tables, chairs, candlesticks, all that. And they were all used in this match. It just felt a little overdone. Not a lot of physical action in this matchup. You had some great spots, spot heavy, but some good ones with chairs, multiple table shots. There was like Bray Wyatt did like a side slam from the apron to Reigns on the table. The first table that was smashed. And then Wyatt got power bumped later to another table. But it just felt like they just relied on the spots too much. There's not a lot of action. It was like a cool little segment with the sister Abigail turning into the Superman punch. That was like the only bit of action. It just brought for a bit, and it was like spot heavy. The other Hell in a Cell match did have spots, but then it felt overused to me. That's what it felt like to me, that there was too much reliance on the spots. Still violent, but it just felt like there should have been more physicality action in the ring without a weapon spot every. It felt like there was a weapon spot every 20 seconds. It just felt like that's why it felt overused. So then the candlesticks would be bought many times. The coolest thing, but the only coolest part I liked was there was like the candlestick stuck against the edges of the cell, and Bray broke the candlestick in half when he slammed Roman Reigns against it. It was pumped against the cell. There was a steel chair pumped like that too. That's when Bray got a brunt of it. And then the ending came when Wyatt had full control. They were going back and forth despite the lack of real action besides all the spot heaviness. He put one candlestick on top of the top turnbuckle and put the other one on the middle. And Reigns was like pounded. He got slammed through big moves and stuff. And he was about to put Reigns' head against the top turnbuckle with the candlestick through his throat. But he fought out of it, grabbed the candlestick, nailed Wyatt with the top one. The middle one was still left there. He rammed Wyatt's face into the second candlestick, set up the spear and the 1-2-3 victory for Roman Reigns. Wyatt, like, there was a good reaction for Wyatt. And Reigns got booed, like, as we all, he's being compared to Cena. Let it start with the "Let's go, Roman sucks." He's been promoted by many as the new John Cena because he's like trying to shove down our throats. Well, we just heard the first "Let's go, Roman sucks" chant, so it's gonna be the big. And if Cena going on break, someone else needs to be the big guy instead of freaking Roman. You know, his mic skills still need a lot of work. But he looked okay against Wyatt. A 3.3. I'd still like the match, though. It was still violent, physical, but like I said, it's still kind of a line. Actually, I'll give it a 3.3. Just an even 3.0. Even 3.0. It was still a decent Hell in a Cell match for what it was. For PG, TVPG, and no blood. The second one, we did see blood. It was still okay, but I just, like I said, just felt. I love spots. You know, I love table spots. I love it. It just felt overdone to me. Should be more physicality. With bare hands, not weapons every 20 seconds. That's what it felt like. Now on to our next affair, the tag team title match. The New Day defending against the Dudley Boyz. Now, we needed a clean ending here. And that's what we had. Because the last two matches ended in DQ. And almost the same exact ending every time. And Xavier Woods getting involved and going through a table both times. So when this match was announced, and by the time we got to last week's Raw, we had no stipulation. I thought they were going to add a stipulation, a tables match, or ban Xavier from ringside. But after Raw, the Dudleys were like, if WWE won't add a stipulation to keep Xavier out, we're going to throw him out for you. He went through another table last week, and it was written out tonight. So we had no Xavier. But we did have his trombone being brought out by Kofi and Nikki being comical as usual. Even wearing Xavier Woods armbands, like black armbands you would wear when people die. And they put XW on it. He's not dead, but it was kind of comical. As usual with the comedy twist. So this right there, full of a fit match against the Dudleys. It's probably the better one, especially with no Xavier ringside. Even though it did feel weird with Donald there, with not him screaming, and of course, lacking the trombone. Him being there playing the trombone. For comedic purposes, of course. Nailing it every time, and applauding. Of course, they got this unicorn thing. They got a unicorn thing. They made a thing out of it last Monday, and they made a t-shirt out of it. With the unicorn horn, so that's their new gimmick. The trombone with the magic unicorn. So there you go. And also during the beginning, they had a problem about smashing the trombone. But everybody being upset. And you could say Big E was fumbling on tromboners. Even E knew it was bad. And not TVPG. So then the match happened. And the match was decent. For being a tag team match, it was okay. With Dudley's having a good advantage until, of course, the New Day took over. Over with his big flying moves and, of course, the strong power of Big E pummeling Devon, isolating Devon for the majority of the matchup with Big E dancing around. The commentary needs to focus more on the matches and making pop culture references that are kind of old. Like when Big E was dancing, he had like the booty, like the other thing they do, booty, all about that booty. They mentioned all about that bass, I think King said no trouble. Last year called, they want their song back. I'm not making them pop culture references, but come on. The commentary, we all know the commentary is kind of weak in WWE these days. They focus more on outside things than actually things happening in the ring. So after the New Day isolated the Dudleys, Dudleys came flying back with the hot tag, the Bubba Ray, which led to the was up. And then, when the referee turned, the trombone got thrown in. And lots of Eddie Guerrero references because of we're impending the Eddie Guerrero 10-year death anniversary, sadly, next month. So there's a spot where referee turned around, Kofi threw the trombone at Bubba Ray, and he did his best Eddie impression, pretending that Bubba Ray hit him. But I was like, oh no, we don't want another DQ ending. Come on. Fuck DQ endings. We've been seeing 2 DQ endings already. I just said that. We need a clean ending. We eventually did because the trombone got thrown back. He actually was smashed by Bubba Ray. But then the referee turned to Kofi. Big E took advantage, took one of the parts of the smashed trombone, smashed Bubba Ray with it, and Devon getting clotheslined by Big E, which led to Kofi, who was the legal guy, taking advantage of Bubba Ray's hit to the groin after they getting hit by the trombone with a Trouble in Paradise and 1-2-3 victory for the New Day, retaining the tag team titles clean for the most part. I don't mind the little screenage of the trombone, but at least there was no I didn't want another DQ or count out. We've had too many DQs with these two teams. So I'm glad we didn't do the DQ. We got a clean ending with New Day retaining. I love the Dudleys and all, but I'm kind of happy New Day retained because they're over as heels right now, and they don't need to ruin their momentum. Kind of like when they had to lose to the primetime players. They had slowed down a bit. When they lost to primetime players back in May, I'm a big primetime players guy, but when they lost to them, it was kind of a big shock. Kind of a big surprise. Because New Day is starting to get over. But at least they regain the momentum out of it. Especially now as champs again. Dominant, funny champs. 2.8. Fun little tag team affair. Probably one of the best matches between these two guys, but it's just okay. With the New Day retaining. The heel way. They can be funny and serious at the same time. Now on to our next affair. The Divas title match. Charlotte against Nikki Bella for the Divas Championship. As much as I'm disappointed, it wasn't a triple threat with Sasha being added, with fans trolling a bit that we want Sasha. We had an okay Divas title match. Probably one of the best Divas title matches on the main roster in a while. With the bad booking and bad writing for the Divas Revolution, the main roster not really taking the fires we were hoping to. This match was not that bad, especially if, like the Dudley Boyz New Day match, no outside interference. With both Team Bella members and Becky and Paige, despite her on-again, off-again heel turn, come on. She changes her mind like a girl changes clothes. Oh no, I just made fun of WWE for making a Megan Trainor reference, not just made a Katy Perry reference. Ah! That's what happens when I'm a disc jockey. I know various music. Anyway. So this match for me to do a center match in the main roster, not bad of a match. Charlotte carried the match. She has a good spots. I'll give Nikki credit too. She had an okay match with Charlotte, great physicality, better than the last match because they didn't focus more. Like in the last match, Nikki focused on Charlotte's leg. We didn't see that. Focusing on the body part that was weakened. Oh, we kind of did with Charlotte's back. But now it wasn't like the overall of the match like it was the leg. The leg was like the entire focal point of the match, not this time of the back. It was a good spots. I like the Charlotte backwards heel Kamana thing, trying to get a little piece of what Bayley did, like a little backwards heel Kamana thing when she was countering Nikki's big moves. She did some big spine buster moves and of course went for the back attack many times in the night. But despite the punishment nearly hairing up, like Nikki, especially on her back, she tried twice for the figure 4, should I say figure 8. First time, she couldn't get her back to focus on it. But then after that backwards heel Kamana, she tried to take advantage with the figure 4, but then she countered the back attack, turned it into the figure 8. The second time, she got it fully locked in, and Nikki tapped out again as Charlotte retained her Divas Championship with Becky and Paige coming out to celebrate. I thought Paige was going to attack Charlotte. But she's like, she doesn't know what side she's on. Oh, I'm heel. No, I'm not. I'm heel. I'm not. Like, make up your fucking mind, Paige. Are you going to be heel or not? We thought you did with that pipe bomb last month, but You keep going back and forth and you're pulling out chain. Make up your mind, like I said. So there you go. 3.2. I was saying that because it was just decent Divas title match. Like, for all the bad booking of the Divas roster thus far, this could be a step in the right direction, but we still got a long way to go. And I've said this, if you've been seeing my Raw reviews lately, and I'm going to sound like a broken record once again. Now that Charlotte's beaten Nikki again, and hopefully the Nikki feud is over, Charlotte-Sasha feud for the Divas title needs to fucking happen! If you want this Diva Revolution to finally take off, let Charlotte and Sasha do on the main roster what they've done in NXT. With NXT people floundering on the main roster, they need to really show that WWE has trust in the NXT people. Like they say to the NXT people, do like the main roster. Be boring. They need to let NXT people do like they did in NXT on the main roster. Let them put on badass matches. No bullshit. And that's what they need to do to Charlotte and Sasha if they want to get this right. So there you go. Speaking of people floundering and not having good booking as champion, Charlotte's booking as champion has been up and down. You know, maybe on the up again, but we shall see. This guy as champion's been on the downward, looking like a pansy. Because referring to Seth Rollins in his reign as a WWE Heavyweight Champion, as he would defend his title against, of all people, Kane tonight. With the stip, of course, if Demon Kane would lose, he would be fired. Well, he being corporate Kane would be fired as director of operations. Being a match against Kane, Rollins did his best with it, especially with Kane coming out early with some big moves, including DDT, and nailing Rollins on the outside, battling on the outside, including smashing against the announce tables, including smashing announce table, which didn't get broken tonight. But then after the offensive fury from Kane early, Rollins not looking like a scared pansy. He wasn't scared, and he did win on Kane full head on. So there was some big moves of his own, some insecurities. It looked like this is what Rollins used to look like every fucking match. You know, when you make Rollins look good in a pay-per-view match, but then have him lose against the same guy on a wall. Come on. And I said this before about Kane, about Rollins taking on people. You don't need to have Rollins take on the same guy he's going to face on a pay-per-view on a wall before, like what happened with him and Cena. Because I thought the SummerSlam ending was given away. But it wasn't, as we don't know. It seems like every time Rollins wrestles a guy on a wall that he's going to face on a pay-per-view, he loses. In a pay-per-view, he eventually wins. After getting beat up by Kane again, including getting nailed against the Spanish announce table, thank God it wasn't DQ, when Kane slammed Rollins against it. Actually, Rollins slamming Kane against it. He powerbombed him on the table. After Kane attempted a choke slam, Rollins did a powerbomb, but he didn't break it. Not that it was DQ, but I didn't want to count out. Thankfully, Kane got back in. He took advantage of the big kick and big flying knees. Big flying knees. Ending up with a Fog Splash, another Eddie tribute. And then Kane caught him. Chokeslam hold, but then Rollins turned into the pedigree. And a 1-2-3 victory for Seth Rollins, retaining his championship. That means corporate Kane is fired as director of operations. So they go, okay, little title match between Rollins and Kane. Rollins did the best he could with Kane on these circumstances, with Kane not being as good as he once was. But now with Kane gone from director of operations, this could lead to something good. Maybe involving his brother, the Undertaker, at Survivor Series to honor 25 years of the dead man. 2.7. Decent WWE title match. On to our next match. For the Intercontinental Championship, speaking of guys that need better booking as champions, besides Rollins and Charlotte, Kevin Owens. He needs to be a better heel. Not just a generic heel on the main roster. I just said about Charlotte and them guys. being limited on the main roster. NXT, there's like no limits. You can do whatever you want in NXT. You can take risks. But WWE's like, don't take risks, be safe, be conservative with TVPG, remember? But NXT needs to break the chains and be themselves like they were in NXT. Be allowed to have the matches they need and be the characters they were in NXT. Not ruin them with stupid things like spikes and make them think they're better than any other tag team. Bury their asses. Ascension. Anyway, because I said this about a few weeks ago in my Raw review about the NXT guys floundering on the main roster. Owens has been up and down. At least IC champion. And he was defending tonight against Ryback in a rematch. Kind of better than their Night Champions match, but not much. With the Ryback looked okay with a big move. By the way, I didn't say this earlier. Dudley's botched the move in the match against the New Day. They were going for a double team move. They kind of botched the ending. So, I think Ryback botched a few things, but not much. With people looking good at big moves, the delayed suplex, and the meat hook from out of nowhere after Owens was setting up for the powerbomb after he went for his big moves, the big kicks, and the cannonball splash, which he did miss after Ryback rolled out of him before Kevin Owens would nail it. Then Owens, like I said, he was trying to go for a powerbomb once, but then Ryback caught him with a meat hook out of nowhere to set up the meat hook. Follow up, the shell shock. But then Owens countered it. And then brought on the outside before Owens got Ryback back in, setting up the powerbomb and 1-2-3 victory for Kevin Owens, retaining his United States Championship. Well, U.S. title he should have won against Cena, but at least he has one mid-card title now, the Intercontinental Championship, and he retained it over Ryback. 2.5, it was just okay. Kevin Owens used to look much better as champion. He looked okay. Like his feud against Ryback was just okay. Hopefully he can feud with somebody good now and have a better build-up than he did with Ryback. Not much build-up with him and Ryback. That's the biggest weakness of WWE, besides bad booking, is like not just bad booking characters, but bad booking on feuds. Build the feuds properly. They just mash them. They just feel like they're mashing the feuds together. Like, oh, let's just put these two guys together for no apparent reason. See if it'll work. But the next match, we have two guys that actually have decent booking as a feud, despite some interesting endings to the matches in the past. Of course, the main event and probably the match of the night. And, yes, the better Hell in a Cell match. Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Coming off of SummerSlam. With the controversial ending. You think WWE would have another referee instead of Charles Robinson, who was the big instigator in that finish between Taker and Lesnar at SummerSlam. But nope. They picked Charles Robinson again. It didn't really hit me to the end. On the match, I was like, wow, they really picked Charles Robinson to be the referee again. And I love the SummerSlam match, which was better than Mania, and it was more exciting. This was more exciting. Not just more exciting than the SummerSlam match, probably the best match they've had recently. And it was violent and bloody, as I mentioned as well. And unlike the Bray Wyatt Reigns match, there were spots, but it didn't feel overused. And it was just a fight. It was just a brawl. And it was more real physicality between these two guys than against Wyatt and Reigns, in my opinion. Lots of brawling on the outside and weapons being used. And we weren't even 5 minutes into the match. And Taker and Lesnar were brawling on the outside. Taker nailed him with a chair, and he nailed Lesnar against the ring post as well. And not even 5 minutes in, Lesnar was already bleeding. You can tell, and Lesnar bled, and the crowd was really hyped for this match. And that changed the momentum of the entire pay-per-view. It changed the aura, because the fans were split, and Lesnar's head was split open. Nice segue, huh? So, I was like, this could be interesting here. And then Taker got cut up later when he got nailed against the head against a steel chair. And typical WTPG, you had fucking doctors in every few minutes to wipe the blood off their heads. Stupid WWE. Fuck that, man. I'm glad when Lesnar got his head wiped, he just knocked it down. So, fuck TVPG. Ooh. And the Bulls between the two guys have been legendary. And this was no exception. It was a physical match. Well, a lot of weapons used, but not as much as Wyatt and Wayne's, like I said. Despite Taker looking good and not looking winded until halfway towards the match, Taker did take a little trip to Suplex City. Short trip. Only 3 suplexes tonight. But 2 F5s, a lot of F5s. I think it was like more than 2 F5s. And no matter what these sides did, they beat each other to the pulp. You know, they both made each other bleed. They took punishment from one another, in and out of the ring, just big balls. And neither guy could get the other guy to finish. Even Taker had the Hell's Gate at one point. The same way Lesnar lost at SummerSlam in the controversial ending. So then both guys were desperate. And both guys took desperate measures to get the win. Lesnar was the first to be desperate. He ripped the ring apart, he ripped the canvas off, and exposed the boards. An F5 ticket on it. He F5 ticket on it. That was after Taker chokeslammed him and tombstoned him on it as well. And Lesnar kicked out of that. Like, both guys kicked out of the finishers multiple times. But then, after that, tombstone from Taker, the desperation continued, especially Lesnar. I think Lesnar was more desperate this time. Not only was he the one that ripped the ring apart to expose the canvas, he also gave Taker a piece of his own medicine. At SummerSlam, of course, after the referee, the whole bullshit with Taker tapping out and Lesnar getting pinned at the same time, the whole referee timekeeper bullshit, Taker low-blowed Lesnar and put him in Hell's Gate and got the victory with Lesnar passing out. Well, turnabout's fair play, Taker, because Lesnar low-blowed Taker and fired his ass. 1, 2, 3. Brock Lesnar wins the rubber match between him and Taker and beats Taker in Hell in a Cell again. Because they said at the beginning that Lesnar's won Hell in a Cell once. They of course, knowing WWE logic, they don't want to mention who he beat to say storyline face. Of course, he beat Taker in it back in 2002. And he beat Taker again. And he won with a low blow. I didn't mind that because it was legal, and it was payback for Taker low-blowing Lesnar at SummerSlam. And we had a clean finish, for the most part. With the low blow being an exception, we had a clean finish for a Hell in a Cell finish. And it was just a brawl between these two guys again. It was physical, the crowd was into it. Great spots, great action. My mind, level physicality than in the Wyatt Wayne's match, which was more very spot heavy. So then Lesnar left with Heyman, and Taker was beaten down, like both guys were broken down. And Taker got back up and got applause from the fans. But then all of a sudden, the Wyatt family show up. Now last year, Bray Wyatt ended Hell in a Cell on an odd way. When he interrupted a hell, pun the pun, of a Hell in a Cell match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. It was kind of weird that both Hell in a Cell matches stayed inside the cell and not outside of it like Ambrose and Rollins did last year. They brought outside the cell and led to another big epic fall from the side of the cell into the announce table. And of course that match was kind of tainted, spoiled by Bray Wyatt's oddly placed interference, screwing Dean Ambrose out of the match. And for the second year in a row, we had an odd Bray Wyatt appearance. Especially coming after Taker lost, and he was getting big applause from the fans. It was kind of a weird, kind of a bad way to, like, once again, Bray Wyatt, like he did last year, he spoiled a good moment with Lesnar beating Taker, and Taker, even in defeat, walking tall until the Wyatt family just Ali Blaze came in and beat down Taker. Now all 4 members of the Wyatt family were there tonight. You had Bray Wyatt, Rowan, who magically reappeared on Monday with no explanation, WWE logic for you, along with Harper being back after taking last week off, despite rumors about him being taken off because of some Jericho photos. That wasn't the case from what we heard. And Braun Strowman. So the beatdown was on Taker. They beat him down. And it was like kind of weird to end like that. Once again, an odd ending to the entire pay-per-view and involving Bray Wyatt. Lazy didn't get involved in the match again like he did last year, but it was still weird to see Bray Wyatt spoil the ending of the entire Hell in a Cell pay-per-view 2 years in a row. I knew he was mad at Taker for beating him at WrestleMania, but you didn't have to do this after the Hell in a Cell match. And as I mentioned earlier, 25 years of Taker. Next month is Survivor Series. And there ought to be The Undertaker. 25 years since his debut. At that pay-per-view, when he was the mysterious partner of the $1 Million Team. And apparently Taker's going to show up. And it could be against the Wyatts. Probably a Survivor Series match. A traditional Survivor Series match. The type of match he debuted in. Especially the way we saw him taken out by the Wyatts tonight and being carried out by the Wyatts. Like he was being carried out. Kind of being kidnapped by the Wyatt family. So we'll see what happens with that. Because I was watching it with a friend of mine and my dad. And I was like, I thought it was going to be Bray Wyatt and Taker 1-on-1. But now it's like, we could have a team situation. 4-on-4. Team Taker against Team Wyatt. 4 Wyatt members against Taker and somebody. Maybe the Shield reunites. We saw the Shield kind of reunite last week on Raw. With Rollins teaming up reluctantly with Reigns and Ambrose against the Wyatts. And he walked out during the match. But maybe they can reunite for real with Taker. Even though they fought Taker before with Kane and Daniel Bryan once. That was 2 years ago, after WrestleMania 29. So we shall see what they're deciding to do. So my rating for Lesnar Taker, 3.7. A little bit higher than a SummerSlam match. Not a screaming ending of SummerSlam. A clean ending. For the most part, with the low blow being the exception, because it was legal and it was storyline payback for Taker low blowing Lesnar at SummerSlam. Usually people winning by low blow is kind of a cheap way out. But in this case, it didn't feel like that because it was payback for Taker doing it. So, made sense storyline-wise. So there you go. That's my review of the WWE Hell in a Cell event. Although it was okay, I just went to a Ring of Honor event the other day. That review is on my channel. And I thought it was decent. I thought that Ring of Honor was a little bit better than Hell in a Cell tonight. Give or take. So there you go. Once again, thank you for watching. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by the review from Zach. See ya! Yeah!